Hey, what's up, folks? Let's see if the mic check is good. Come on. Because, you guys know. Is that it? Yeah, I guess that's it. All right. Anybody who's watched some of my videos know far too often that I'll be in the middle of doing a live or something like that, and then 5-10 minutes down the road, I realize that I don't have any audio. So today is July 26, 2024, and this is it's been a while since I've done like a midday taping or a midday video. What I've been doing for the last week or so is I've been actually recording the market during the day, but now I'm specifically recording between like 9:45 and 11 o'clock. I might start it around 9 o'clock or so, but I'll stop recording at 11, and I'm looking specifically to see what the market is doing during that time. So yeah, so today's video is, I guess, is going to be quick. I don't know, I have a habit of not being quick, but today's video is about getting better. It's about getting better. When you get better, you have to accept and acknowledge that at one time you weren't as good. And so, when you learn how to when you learn how to hit the ball correctly, you have to take a step back and watch that video from before and realize that, you weren't stepping correctly. You weren't twisting correctly. You weren't, you didn't have your eyes on the ball, right? So when you do better, it's depending on what you're doing, you can never undo what you did before. But for programming, if you're making programs, all right, so let's go to the screen. If you're making programs that you did way back when, and now 3 months later you're better, or 3 years later you're better, then these programs from before, they may have been okay, and they may not be. So I realized that a couple of my scripts were not. They were not okay. All right, so the scripts were not okay. All right, so, and I don't know why I thought that I needed to go back and look at the spread. Excuse me. I had a little bit of time kill this morning, so I went ahead and made a script for a spread, the intrabar average and the intrabar max. And this is the new script. This is the old script. So if you look at some of my scripts, if you look at my charts from back in the day, from a couple of days ago, whatever, when I stream write it, you see that it all looks like this, right? So these are the values. This was the script. Now, a couple of things. So one thing is that on TradeStation EasyLanguage, when you're looking at the spread, you can look at it two different ways. You can look at it like the inside ass minus the inside bid, which is, as far as I understand, the inside ass and inside bid is the ass and the bid that the institutions are kind of looking at, right? But otherwise, you have if you look at like market 2, if you look at the market data depth of market level 2, you have the ass and you have the bid. Ass and the bid. That's not the inside ass, inside bid. That's the ass and the bid. So when you're using EasyLanguage, you can go to the toolbox, pull out the market depth provider, and then you can actually pull that ask and that bid. Not the inside ask and inside bid, the ask and the bid. So here on this older script, because I didn't know any better, I was using the inside ask and inside bid. This gives different results from this right here, right? Look at this. Look at this right here. This is a value of about 0.75 or 0.7, should be 0.75 if it's ticks. Yeah, 0.75. Okay. This script down here that I've been looking at, that I've been studying for the last 6 months, does not show anything really significant right here. What happened right here? This was a pullback, right? And this was your Q. But you find it on this new script that I wrote. You don't find it on this one down here. So that's why I say, when you know better, you do better, and some of those things that you used to do before, you don't do them anymore. So I've got to get rid of this script here. You see I still have it plotted. I've only got it plotted so that you guys can see what's going on. And that just means that, like I said, as you get better, you might redo some of your scripts. You might redo some of your work, and that's okay. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what you do in life, you may or may not have opportunity to redo your mistakes or fix your errors. But here, I mean, you've got a little bit of an opportunity. So I'm going to show you what I did with that. I'm going to show you how to plot the spread, the inch bar spread. And I'll do that next. Let me show you first. This is the script that I was running today, and it, what happened? Oh, okay, yeah, 401. So today the realized profit was $400. That's got to get better. Before I'm making myself a goal. Before I start trading any one of these live with my real money, whether it's micros or minis or whatever, I want to see this number. I've got to figure out some metrics, but I like to see this number be at $1,000 for the day. And this is just trading one contract at a time. But I like to see this number be at $1,000 before I start trading my own contracts. So if we go back to the chart, this is what it did. Let's get a fairly clean chart here, 15-second time frame. Let's pull up this one so I can just show you the entries that it took. All right, and then go here. Okay. So, like I said, yesterday I spent a lot of time, putting, sewing the indicator together, and then moving it over to a strategy, and then cleaning up the strategy and making sure that the order tickets and everything acted properly, and the inch bar persists. Everything was working right. So I got everything working right yesterday. I plugged it in today. Today I just let it run. So here we took a loss. Here we had a win. Here we took a loss. Here small loss. Here big win. Medium loss, and then small loss. This was a big win. This was a big win. All right. Here are the entries. These are what the entries look like for the script from first part of the day. Where are my dots at? Take hold for time bar. What was the name of this? Bid bus. Bid bus is turned off for some reason. All right, and the fact that it's turned off, I don't know when it turned off, so we need to look and see when it turned off. But the fact that it's turned off means that it didn't give the past hour or whatever since I've been away from the desk. It hasn't been plotting any. Oh, maybe it must have just turned off because we have these values, these here. Okay, so back from 9 or so o'clock this morning, and this is what I was doing. trading my combine account, I was taking some of these entries along here, and I even said yesterday I needed to clean some of these up, which I hadn't done. And you know, I'm trading these things fairly aggressively this morning, and I got booted. Right? So here, not a great one. Here, not a great one. That was a good one. Not a great one. Okay, but and I think I started trading right around here. And I got up to here and it kind of hesitated, and I said, you know what, Eric, just get out at break even, make a couple dollars and then just wait. But I didn't. I stayed in, and then I forget what I did through here, but anyway, I was somewhere averaged. Even on this opening bar here, I was somewhat average to where when it came to right here, or when it came up here, I was up a couple $100, and I was like, you know what, should just take that and then get back in later. But I didn't take that, and then I got stopped out through here and I got wiped out. So now if I had have waited, that first bar, second bar gave me the signal to get in. Would have got in at the very bottom, nothing underneath. There would have been like no drawdown. Move up. Second entry, no drawdown. Move up. Third entry, drawdown there, might get stopped out. And then I turned my strategy on, so it started taking trades. But yeah, so that's why I say I'm gonna set my strategies up, so, and once they're profitable, forward testing, then I'm just going to go ahead and put my real money on it and let it work. And honestly, I mean, but yeah, that's a lot though. I don't know, that's a lot. Yeah. All right, so let's see. All right, I'm gonna go over with you how to find the spread here, and I'm gonna talk to you about what I did and why I did it. Because I've been saying for a long time that is super important, and yet here I am looking at data that is not even relevant. Okay, YouTube spread, because I'll go back and delete this. I don't need it. Okay, so again, you have the ask at the top, the bid at the bottom. If it's really tight, then depending on if you are at supply or demand, it's ready to go in the opposite direction. If it's very far apart, then you've got a lot of room for volatility. And then somebody needs to make a decision if we're going to go ahead and push down and find another tight area, or you know, if we need to keep moving in that direction. So the spread is very important, and like institutional trading, large traders, that kind of thing, they're not going to want a large spread, because again, if you get into a large spread, it's easier to lose your money, right? If you are selling a potato at $5 and somebody's willing, no, let's just say 10, let's say 20. If you're selling a potato at $20, somebody's willing to buy it at 10, that's a $10 spread, right? So if they buy it, then automatically, if they buy it at your price, then automatically they paid $10 too much. Or if you sell it at the buyer's price, then you may have sold it for $10 too less. So next person will come around and move the market back up to that next level, and you just gave away $10 essentially. So the wider the spread, the easier it is for you to give money away. All right, you see my indicator just pop. Oh, I'm all in the way. My indicator just popped back up. I need to move myself here. Nope. Wrong one. There we go. Is that me? All right, hang on. Let me move. Nope. Let me move myself so you guys can see what's going on. See, lock that. Nope. We're gonna get it right. Okay, there we go. Lock that. And this guy. Okay. All right, so let's move me somewhere over here so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so it looks like that's okay. So that was the entry, but then that's the stop loss, and then it's trying to move up, but we'll see. All right, I am back. Okay, had to assist my daughter there. Okay, so even though it did come back and try to take us out, we moved back up. So, and this is the thing. I think the way that I have this, I have the order tickets and everything set up is depending on. So this last value here was 2.25. This bottom was 2.25. So this would have put me an entry in here and would have took half of 2.25, and then that would have been my stop loss. So this level here is 504. So half of 2.25 is 1.15. So it would went under 504. It would have went to just under 503. And 503 is, so it put me right about here. And so that would have wicked me out right here. It would have taken me out right here, and then it would have moved in my favor. So I've got to figure out the risk to reward and come up with a better ratio to make it work. Okay. So again, we are talking about the bid and ask spread. So we want to come up with something that makes sense for the bid and ask spread. So if you look here, you see that on the tick bar, and this is a 5-tick bar. This is not a 1-tick bar, but this is 5 ticks to every bar. So, excuse me, within every 10-second bar, 20-second bar, 1-minute bar, 5-minute bar, there's all these small movements. And with every small movement, you have a starting point, an ending point, you've got volume, you've got the metrics of the market that says that the level 2 has changed or not. You've got the spread may have changed or not. So you've got all these things going on, and that's what we want to see if we can capture is the spread within that bar. So like I said, all these ticks, this is a span of time from 14:11:41 to 14:12:40. So from here, so from roughly here to here, that's a 1-minute bar. So all of this has happened. So within that bar, you want to know if there were any times within that bar where that volume got really high, where it was at the top of the bar, or if the spread got really tight and it was at the bottom of the bar, or if the spread got really narrow and it was such. So we just want to identify what happened with the spread. All right, so to do that, we're going to make a spread indicator. And again, this spread indicator here, this also is one of my older ones, and this one is not good either. This one is not bad, but it's not great. So I need to take this one down too. Okay, so I got some work to do this weekend. All right, but I'm gonna show you what you can do to kind of get in front of. Let me do this because I see that I've got 2 logos here now. Nope, not me, not me. Ah, we got the other logos too. Okay. All right, so. Ooh. All right, one thing that we know is going to be intra-bar persist. So we're going to turn on the properties, which just means that we're taking information from within each bar and we're using the values. Okay, so we're going to. All right, let's do that. All right, now I'm off to stop talking so much because I got to get in the zone to do this. So I tell you what, I'm just going to let you follow along because you guys aren't asking questions anyway, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to flex my program muscle a little bit, and it's good practice for me. And if you do have any questions, if you want to see me talk it out, then tell me. Say, hey, Eric, we want to see you do it, but we want to hear what you're going through, okay? And if you don't do that, then I'm gonna just come on here, do some programming, do some talking from time to time, and then I'm gonna get off here and go do my own thing, my other things. All right, get my music going. You gotta listen to classical music while you Okay. So here we're talking about we need to find the maximum spread within the bar. So anytime we have new market data here, we're going to go ahead and find out what the ask level is minus the bid level on every tick. But now we need to take that information and we need to send it into a vector. So we're going to actually do v spread dot pushback, which means that into this vector, we're going to push this into the vector every time it happens. So we need to make sure that we have the vector v spread equals new vector. Then come up here and make sure that we have the vector v spread null enter bar persist. Okay, now for the last bar on chart, which means that we're in live bars. We need to find if we're on that final tick of the bar. So if bar status 1 is equal to 2, it's the final bar, final tick of the bar. Then what do we want to do? We want to take whatever's in this vector, whatever's been pushed into that vector, and we want to find the maximum in there. We want to find the maximum value. So we'll put find max, and that is a method that we will create. Method void. Actually, we'll return it. Double find max. max. It does need to be inch bar persist. Okay, and spread max. It does need to be reset at 0. At the end of the tick, after you plot. That's not going to be our plot, but it's going to be 0 spread max equals, and I've started using max list. This messed me up earlier today because I actually had I was using max list, and then I realized by the end of it that I was only comparing what was in the vector from 1 to the one before, 1 to the one before, 1 to the one before it. I actually need to save which one is the max out of the 2. So we have 2 values, save which one is the max, and here, and then it'll just keep through the iteration saving the highest, and then we will end. So it'll be the spread of x as type double, and then spread max. So with the initial instance, this will be 0, and then this will be a number, so this number will be the higher one, so to save it to spread max, that higher number. Okay, and then on the next iteration, you take that higher number, it becomes here, comparing that to that, and then it just keeps going on and on. And so you end up returning, when you get done, you will return spread max, and that returns it here to this double, which returns it to here. Okay, so that right there becomes a number, so we'll just put plot 1, and then it'll plot that number, and that will be the max within bar. Make that black. Okay, this out of here. All right, now that we have the max, we also want to get the we'll do the average here in a minute, but let's make sure that everything is okay with this. Verify. What issues do you have? Operation not supported for these data types? Really? Spread. Oh, that's because we just pulled up the ASC level. We didn't actually pull up a value. That looks like that's just the object. Now we have the condition there. All right, so spread push back. Semicolon? Really? Really? Why? Why? Well, I know that I have too many of these. Okay. Hit that. Okay, now we got that. All right, we'll come over here and YouTube spread delete. It's here. That. Okay, the style is going to be a. We'll make it a point. We'll make it a line. We'll make it a histogram. Okay, don't connect the lines. Symbol property, so I verified, and then once I added, it says symbol property was not provided. I thought I'd done that, but no, I did not. Okay, now verified it again, come back over, and then turn it on. Some other issue, symbol property not provided. Well, sure I did. Symbol. Oh, I didn't verify it? Okay. Object reference not set to the instance of an object. Well, the only thing that we've got is spread. So v spread equals new vector. Once begin end. Find max. That. Spread equals 0. Find max. MVP. It's a method. Find max. Oh, so here we're saying that when we do get plot find max, we're saying plot, if the bar status is 2, we're saying plot find max. Well, if we're going to find max the method, then we're saying that we need to be looking at v-spread count. Well, it's a possibility that if you're on the first close of the bar, then there's nothing in the vector, and so you can't even reference anything about the vector if the vector hasn't even been created. So we need to say if v-spread, not only if it's not null, but we'll just make it one more easier, because we need it to not be null, and v-spread dot count has to be greater than 1 at least. Then you can do that. But if v-spread dot count is greater than 0, then it's got to exist. So we don't even need that one. Okay, hit that, do that. Now hit it, and again. Object reference not sets and instances of an object. Really? Let's do it here. Oh, same way. When like this is separate, like this is the market depth provider, right? And so as soon as the chart starts, you got to update to the market depth provider. As soon as the chart starts, you got to update to the market depth provider. Well, you should be creating a new vector as soon as the chart starts. However, there's a pretty good possibility that this hasn't been created quite quicker than this has happened. Then you had a new event here. Okay, so just make sure, like I said, just make sure that you do have v-spread actually already created for this to be pushed to. So let's say if v-spread is not null, then push that to it, v-spread. That should solve our problems. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's see what we're getting here. And again, these levels should be right around 0.25. Typically, the spread is going to be 0.25, and it may go up as high as about 0.5. And if you look earlier in the day, you'll see that some of those went as high as an entire 1, which surprised me, right? So this is going up as far as 0.75 right now. And this older one that I made, and that's exactly what I'm telling you. This older one that I made said that the spread was only 0.5. Well, this is showing that the spread is 0.75. Let's also make sure that we are properly resetting the value of the max. Yeah, so spread max is being reset to 0. Yep. But I would not expect for all these to be 0.75 unless the market is at some really weird place. Well, it is, I guess. And all these are at 0.75 right now. That's because it's tanking. Coming back down. Testing this, testing that demand. That's why they're so low. I mean, the spread is so high. Wow, yeah, look, both of those at 0.75. It's still at 0.75. This one is not, though. This one is 0.5. So what is going on? Let's see. Yeah, this shouldn't be staying at 0.75. I feel like that's just reading the values before it. All right. So we're taking that difference and spread max is equal to max list of spread and spread max, and then you're going to return spread max, and then at the end of, oh, this is in the wrong place. This goes here. This being here says that after the end of every tick, you're resetting your spread max to 0. But putting it here says that you're only resetting it to 0 at the end of every bar. Does make a difference. I'm surprised though. Oh. Update value inch bar tick by tick. That's what we needed. Okay. All right, so now we're going to get some values here. And see, that's what I like about being able to see inside the market, because somebody that's programming could see that these two values here are showing that, yeah, there is trying to be somewhat of a rejection at this level because the spread really widened. But if you don't have this insider view, you're not gonna know what you're looking at. All right, let's go back and see 0.5. Max to 0.5. I'm gonna just let this run for a little bit. And we want to see one jump up to 0.75. There we go. But now we want to see it come back down. We don't want to see it stay up there forever. Spread max. Now, you shouldn't see it stay that high for that long a period of time. Not for every single bar. So, what have we done wrong? Oh! Jolly green giant! When we're putting all these values into the vector v spread, well, the vector is being called to give us the highest value. But we just keep adding values, adding more values. It's going to give us the highest one. It's going to return to us the highest one. But we just keep adding values. But it's going to only return the highest one. It's not adding them all together or anything like that. It's only returning the highest one. So within that whole collection, even though you keep adding more and more to the collection and more to the collection, if the highest value is 0.75, then it's only going to return 0.75. So when we get to the end of the bar, we also need to what? We need to clear the vector. Like I said, man, I mean, you know, you start off knowing one thing, doing one thing, and then when you get better at programming, you can fix your mistakes. You don't have to accept poor programming. You can give yourself a little bit of time and figure it out, whatever. But yeah, so this is cool. So you see, and this is even showing that 0.25 is the lowest spread that we're getting. And then it's going up to as far as 0.5, which is 2 ticks. And then every now and then you're going to see it jump up to 0.75. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. As it drops back down and tries to retest, maybe for that third time, the low, we might see it jump up. Look at that. See? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You get this nice opening of the spread here, this widening of the spread. When it came back down and retested, it got the same thing, and then it pushed off of it. Yes, you can use your technical analysis, but maybe combine with the technical analysis, also with the volume, also with the spread, and come up with something beautiful, you know? Come up with a great entry. All right. Now this line here, I was using, if you go back to like the beginning of the video, I was talking about the inside bid and inside ask. I was using inside bid. This line here, this is the average. This line here, this older script used the inside bid and inside ask. This blue line is the average. So let me show you what that looks like. It kind of resembles that older script that I had. A little bit. And you're like, Eric, yeah, not really. Not at all. Not really. But I mean, where it goes up here, this goes up. I mean, yeah, not the best. But anyway, this script right here is right. This one right here is questionable. This one is right. This one is questionable. So I've got to go back and I'll probably just make a stream right for this instead of, and I'm probably just going to redo all of these. I'm going to redo all of these, I'm sure, and just make a new master for it. All right, we hadn't got anything up to 0.75 yet. But like I said, if you compare this older script here with this newer script here, you see that you're getting different information. Because this script also is supposed to be the largest within the bar. But you see this is showing up to be 0.5 and the rest of these are showing to be 0.25. Well, there's a lot of these that show 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, 0.25. This is showing mostly 0.25 and every now and then at 0.5. So again, this older script here, it's not cutting the cheese, my friend. It's not cutting it. It's not cutting it. Okay. All right. I don't want to take off yet until we get a 0.75 on here, just so you can see how that looks different. And then we'll take off and we'll do the next thing. We'll do the average on there. Yeah, again, when I sit here and I talk it out, it takes away from my focus. So, you know, you make silly mistakes, but we'll figure it out. Time for some more coffee. I wonder how many of these other scripts are wrong. I wonder. So anyway, we'll figure it out. Right, so even though my script gave a potential entry there, like I said, I probably am going to update it so that it only gives a potential entry when the spread widens, like that. There we go. Oh, it happened right here. You see? right there at the bottom. Right there at the bottom. Now, it may still go down lower than that. I'm not saying that it won't go lower than that. I'm just saying that this is a place of significance. And it did. Sank it. Oh, we got another one right here. Woo! But this one is up to 1. What in the world? I thought that one went up to 1. Yeah. Okay, this is a 15-second bar. This is 5-tick bar. So you'll see it on this one quicker than you'll see it over here. We got another one that was up to 1. The market is trying to push back. Look at all this market attention right here. But you get it both from the bids and the ask, from the blue line and the red line. Yeah, this spread went all the way up to 1. That's crazy. And then this one came down. Now, like I say, I mean, this is my first, I fixed this script today, so this is my first time running this script, with it working properly. So I don't know, maybe this is what it looks like when the market continues to slide downhill. I honestly don't know, so I'm kind of looking along with you guys. Yeah, I'm generally looking at the market from time. I think even though this one has a widening spread up to 0.75, it kept going till it went up to 1. But one thing I've seen time and time again is even though you get that widening of the spread, yes, sometimes you can go ahead and take your entry, but I found that, like, even with these guys, instead of taking your entry right there, you should really be looking for the break of that entry signal bar, right? So this spread widened here, so you want to look for the break. If you're going long, you want to look for the break of the top of this bar, right? And this one, same thing, it widened again, so you only want to be thinking long if you get the break to the top of that bar. And the same thing, this one is a 1 on the spread, so got to look for the break of the top of that bar. Same thing with this one. And then you finally get it right there, right? You get the break over the top. And then that would be the time to take your entry there with the stop down there. Or know that this is an indication to start going long, so now you just look for the first pullback. And then you take the second entry long right here. So is it going to run into trouble when it reaches that first mark? You see that plus right there? That red plus is highlighted. That means that at this level here, there's a higher node of ask. Now there's a higher node of bids down here, but it's not as high as this is. It's fascinating stuff. You see, we just printed a 0.75 here, and then it showed up right here. But again, this is a longer bar. These are 5-tick bars, so these happen really quickly. This happens, there's more of more of an interval there. But yeah, it did went up, touched that, kissed it, came back down. But now you see the highlighted green here. There is a node of buyer interest right here. And these two guys here is something that I've seen that when these show up, it often creates a range. It often creates somewhat of a range, whether it's consolidation or distribution. Again, doesn't mean that it's going to do it right now. It'll probably just prove me wrong and just sink on below it. But I have seen that happen frequently. All right, got another higher spread there, right at the bottom of the range, which makes sense. Got some volume there. Now, if you were to take that entry, like I said, with this being a range, you would want to get out before it got to the top of this range right here. So you want to get out right around here. Don't stay to the very end. Don't overstay your welcome. Because where there's a range, there's a top and a bottom. All right. Once it sinks or floats, we'll move on to the next thing. All right. Touch me. Touch me. Tap it. Tap it. That's another thing I've put into my scripts is when it's time to scale in, scale out, or to move the order up to break even. All right, so you see it, just tapped it. Just tapped it right there. I would have been out right there. Like I say, it could go all the way back and retest this this high node here for that supply and demand, but you know, and the fact that it went just short of it could mean that it's setting up for a lower high. Well, I mean, it would have broke through that. Okay. But you cannot win them all. You cannot win them all. So, trust me, I've tried. Okay. All right, so let's go on to the next one. So that is the max. That's the maximum spread intra-bar. Okay. Now we want to find out what the average is, right? Because within each bar, you're going to have what? 50 bars of 5 ticks. How many ticks is this? You know, and so how many ticks, how many bars is that you're going to find within a 15-second bar? All right, so every bar is going to have its own metrics. So again, we're talking about ticks within a bar. So you might have one that's where the max is, or the spread is 0.25. You might have one that's 0.5, 0.75, 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 0.75, 0.5, 0.25. You see where I'm going with this. All right, but all those numbers are very variable and varied, and they will vary on every bar. So let's at least try to find what the average is within that bar. And you could take it a step further. You could say, okay, well, the bottom half of the bar, what's the average of those numbers? Versus the top half of the bar, what's the average of those numbers? And I do have a script that gets kind of specific like that when it comes to time. That time bar split at the bottom down here, that's what that one does. Now you see, now my scripts for bid bust, they seem to be popping off. But anyway. All right, so in order to add the average, we need to take all the values. So here we're looking at the maximum for x is equal to 0 to 0, give spread count. So now, while we're in that same loop, let's take the value and add to it. So we're going to call something called spread tot for spread total, and then we're going to plus equal the current value where we're at the index of, as type double. So spread total is going to be the total. And now when we get out of this method, as we're exiting out of this method, we're going to have something called spread average, which is going to equal spread total divided by v spread count. And v spread count has got to be greater than 0 for us to even be in this function, because we could only come in to this function, into this method, if count was greater than 0. So we don't have to worry about this denominator being a 0. Count. Okay, so spread average and spread total. These entry bar persist. And then after when we're resetting at the end of the bar, let's go to, didn't I tell you to be careful up here? Didn't I tell you to be careful up here where the supply is? Okay, it came just short of it, right? Came just short of it. And then it tanked, right? So like I said, this kind of sets up a supply and demand, a little bit of a channel. But that channel might be a descending channel, so you just have to wait for the next potential entry. But you see here, the spread widened, right? The spread widened right here. So you should have known there that you were in some trouble. You should have known there. All right. We are going to spread. We're going to reset the spread. Oh, we can do it right here. Once we get done using it, we can spread tot equals 0. All right, I think that should work. And then we're going to oh, we can plot it. We can plot it right here. Yeah. Equals spread average, intra-bar average, this blue. Okay. All right, so see our blue line there? It's similar to this line over here, but because this is a tick bar, the values are going to be much different. They're not going to look exactly the same. Let's go to edit, make the style a line, and let them connect. And that'll help us visually. Okay, so this is the average, the intrabar average. And that's what we have floating back there is the average. All right, now you see when that chart came down, it came down, sink, 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 boom. What happened? We got these nodes that showed up. And then these nodes creates what? These nodes creates another potential supply and demand channel. And it found demand and now it's pushing up. Now the question is will it push up and through this supply? Well, also down here we got this high spread and this high spread. And now this high spread to push through, but I don't know. This one looks suspect because it's also right here at supply. So it looked like it could push back down toward demand, but I don't know. This value being a little bit higher though, looks good for it to move up. Typically when I see the ask for the level 2, when I see the ask over top of the blue line, the bid, it's moving up. Yeah, so I don't know, but I mean it's got a long ways for it to go. There's a lot of overhead pressure, so I think I'd be a little bit surprised, but and that's the thing, the market is so fluid, right? So now the red line, the ask, is trying to dip back down toward the blue line. So, and you got a higher spread right here, right? This higher spread right here lets you know you got some problems. You got some problems right there. And you're at that supply. So, I don't know, man. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on here, and if I could trade it like I see it, then I might be all right, but I don't know. But I say one of the things I really wanted to show you was this here. When I put my new script together, this right here, this spread now makes sense along with what the market is doing. When you get both of these in kind of confirmation, that's when you got to change. This guy right here, this is the older one that I was using. This is the one that I did have. And I was looking at it and I was trying to make sense of it and find areas where it was helpful and that kind of thing. Look at that. It did. It dropped. But then it dropped here and then it again found, all right, well, the market is saying, hey, well, we're still in this thing. We're still in this thing. Little push up. I don't know. I mean, and I don't know where this came. I don't know if this came at the end of the bar or the beginning of the bar. If it came at the drop or if it came at the touch. So I don't know if this is rejecting this being demand or accepting this being demand. Yeah, that's looking tough there though. We got that spread just open back up again. Okay, but yes, on this older script here that I've been looking at for the past several months, if you look at this one for the spread, this one isn't doing jack. This spread isn't doing jack. This spread opened up here. This one got high right here. And if you look at the one that actually is legit, this script here actually legitimately works. This script here. And this one ain't doing jack. This one down here is firing off. This one down here ain't doing jack. This one right here is firing off. This right here, this script right here is right. This one is right. And you know, it's lovely to see it when stuff finally comes together, man. All right, well, I think that's it. I think that's it for me for today. If you guys want to see anything else, holler at me. But otherwise, I think I'm kind of finding my groove. I'm finding the ability to interpret the market, make scripts that make sense. And so I probably won't be making a whole lot more videos. I'm not saying that people really need this content. And you know, it's I'm sure that there's people out there who need it. But and I said it from the very beginning. I said a lot of this is going to be for me. A lot of this, that, you know, when you understand something well enough that you can teach it, that's when you really get it. So a lot of this is purely selfish. but I think I've gotten enough of it, and I feel like people aren't really that interested in it. There's a select few. This is a small. There's a small demographic of the community of the population that's even interested in programming, that will put forth the effort that it takes to program and to work through things. So, and I get that, I understand that, but I'm not hearing that people really need it. And so if you don't need it, then I'm going to start drifting into focusing my efforts on the trading side. I've been working on the programming side for so long, and it's been very purposeful, because I did want to get to the point to where I could make scripts that made sense. And now that I've kind of gotten here, not to say I'm completely here yet, because I'm not. I'm still going to keep working, I promise you. But I think I'm close enough to where I can also now focus on the trading piece, and be profitable. So anyway, guys, I hope that you guys are as profitable as you must be, because anyway, I am Eric. I am out. Peace.